And welcome to Chapter 5, Manipulation Lesson Plans. So this is the Unit 5 that goes with IB Psychology, a Student's Guide, the second edition. So we've got 6 topics to cover: compliance, dual processing, cognitive biases, operant conditioning, classical conditioning, and social learning theory. And there's a bonus lesson in there to review the unit before your assessments if you want to. Alright, so just one lesson on compliance. Remember, compliance was also covered in cults, where we looked at the authority principle. In this one, we look at the reciprocity principle. So ideally, students will know what is reciprocity and why does it increase compliance. Always following that what and why technique. Alright, key terms, traffic lights. If you've used my materials before, you'll know this. I would love to hear of any revisions, additions, things you do instead of starting with the key terms. But for me, key terms are the building blocks, are the foundations of knowledge that every unit is built on. All right, and then also a crossword puzzle. I like to remind students, hey, you don't need to know these now, but by the end of the unit, you should know them all. All right, interestingly, is this unit just between you and I? It's not really about manipulation. It's really about persuasion, decision-making, and learning. It's loosely linked to the theme of manipulation, but I always joke that 90% of my teaching is marketing. So, do I really want to stand up and go, hey, we're doing thinking and decision making or manipulation? Manipulation is going to hook students in better. Anyway, what's the difference to persuade someone or manipulate them? And then see if they can think of everyday examples. All right, brain dump. If you like, they can write an idea in the clouds of examples of persuasion and or manipulation. And then just to chalk and talk, explain the difference. This is how I would distinguish the two. I've included these slides. I'm not sure if you want to go over them. I figure it's easier to include them and you can delete them if you don't like them. But this shows what we're covering in this unit. You can see it pretty much covers the cognitive approach and goes over again schema theory and cognitive models and a couple of social cultural approach topics as well. All right. It also covers the thinking and learning section of the context. So my approach to this course is not to teach the approaches in context separately, but to embed the content approaches into the context. Okay. All right, store greeters. Now, increasingly, copyright reasons, I've got a space there for you to add your own images. So talk about store greeters, people that just welcome people as they come into the store. Walmart, for example, they stopped doing it in 2012, brought it back. Why do you think they have this? See if students can come up with some ideas. Classic little funny clip from Family Guy there. And talking about free samples. Why do you think shops give away free samples, and can they think of any shops that do that near you? Okay, so we're going to come back to, maybe this is the hook and say, okay, today you're going to learn why people have greeters and give away free samples. But first, let's review compliance. There's some space in the workbook. Okay, a bit of chalk and talk if you like, and then explain the reciprocity principle. Okay, now we give the students the key study. Okay. And this is, showing, if you give something away, like a free sample, it can increase spending by 16%. Okay, why does it work? See if students can discuss with a partner, think, pair, share. We'll share ideas. And then it would leading them towards an evolutionary explanation for reciprocity. Okay, so quick recap of EvPsych, the idea that any behavior, evolutionary psychologists will explain behavior by looking at how it's helped us to survive. And the idea, I think it's important for students to know and to comprehend the idea that we've been hunter-gatherers for 98% of the time that Homo sapiens have been on Earth, according to my ChatGPT research. But basically, right, for the vast majority of time, we've been hunter-gatherers. And so we've evolved to live in that system. And so, modern civilizations are, 3,000 to 6,000 years old. So that hasn't been enough time for us to develop out of these ancient embedded genetic habits. Okay, so we look at evolutionary adaptations. How might reciprocity help humans survive? See if students can work together, write notes in their workbook, and then this is the chalk and talk slides for you to explain the idea. Space for the workbook notes, and then some homework. Now, if you've done cults, I think they've already watched The Science of Persuasion. They should rewatch it, and there are 2 focus questions in the workbook. And that's the end of reciprocity. Next, we'll look at the dual processing model.